Good morning, good morning. Good morning. Hey, there we go, all right. So welcome to the annual Tinley Park Business Breakfast. Every year around this time, we gather here around the wonderful Tinley Park Convention Center for good food, fantastic conversation, and lots of networking with other business owners in the business world. I'm a business owner in Tinley Park and resident Jay Walsh. I'm also the chairman of the Tinley Park Economic Commercial Commission, and on behalf of the entire ECC, I'd like to thank you for spending the morning with us. Tinley Park has a thriving and diverse business community with more than 1,100 businesses. For years, I've said that Tinley Park is the place to, if you want to turn your vision into profits, and never has that been truer than in 2026. The Village of Tinley Park has a proven record of pro-business policies that aim to help new and existing businesses succeed. By the way, that's me. Many thanks to Mayor Glotz and the Village Board and the strategic planning of the Economic Commercial Commission and Village staff who have helped Tinley Park become a beacon of financial strength and business diversity in the entire Midwest. At this time, I'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsors for today's event. Premier sponsor, Wintrust Bank. Program sponsor, Panduit. And event sponsor, Republic Bank of Chicago. We couldn't have brought this event to you without their help. And please join me in supporting these businesses in a thank you round of applause. So thank you. I'd also like to please join me in thanking and recognizing our excellent elected leaders who comprise the Tinley Park Village Board. If you don't mind, because there's a list of a number of people I'll be reading, we'll save our applause to the end. But first, Mayor Michael Glotz, Clerk Nancy O'Connor, Trustee William Brady, Trustee William Brennan, Trustee Dennis Mahoney, Trustee Michael Mueller, Trustee Kenneth Shaw, Trustee Colleen Sullivan. Thank you for everything that you do in Tinley Park. I'd also like to acknowledge the hardworking leadership at the village at village staff. Village Manager Pat Carr, Assistant Village Manager and Marketing Director Donna Framke, Assistant Village Manager and Human Resources Director Angela Arrigo, Finance Director Sarah Mitchell, Fire Services Administrator Steve Klotz, Chief of Police Tom Tilton, Public Works Director John Urbanski, Community Development Director Michael Coleman, Director of EMA and 911 Communications Lisa Cordum, Informations Technology Director Anthony Ardolino. I'd also like to have a special thanks for Carolyn Matera, our Marketing and Economic Development Specialist, who helps really put this all together along with the entire village staff. So thank you very much. I'd also be remiss if I didn't recognize the wonderful people who volunteer their time on the Economic Commercial Commission, which includes appointed local business leaders who study and recommend actions that will improve our business climate. These commissioners review issues that make recommendations on real estate maximization, finance and incentives, marketing, and business retention. I'm very fortunate to work with these outstanding business leaders, many of who are here today. Daniel Fitzgerald, Christine O'Badge, Rich Osti, Dennis Reedy, Jason Ria, Dino Sanfilippo, Chris Shoemaker, Dennis Sugledge, Maria Ventura, and Associate Member James Holt. Thank you. Business leaders and prospects know that our economic development endeavors are a team effort whereby all our village departments work together to serve the needs of our businesses. Every year, we use this occasion to honor local businesses that have achieved milestone anniversaries. While there are many to recognize, not everyone was able to attend. As I call your name, please come to the front, your left, my right, to receive your plaque and work your way across the stage to take a picture with Mayor Glotz. So now I'd like to present the 2026 milestone recognitions. For 20 years, America's Best Contacts and Eyeglasses. Batteries Plus. Best Buy. Burger King. CVS Pharmacy. Dairy Queen. Dick's Sporting Goods. Emerson Process Management. Four Eyes Optical. Meadowbrook Animal Clinic. Michael's Store. Sally Beauty Supply. Sonabella Salon and Spa. Ulta Beauty. World Star Nails. Congratulations to all those businesses for 20 years in Tinley Park. Next is 30 years. Ashford House Restaurant and Winston's Market. Fairfield Inn and Suites. The Hair Cuttery. Hampton Inn. Liberty Creative Solutions. The Goodhart Wilcox Company. Together We Cope and New to You Resale Shop. And finally, Stat Towing. Congratulations. Congratulations to all of our 30-year award winners. Now 40 years, a better resume. 40 years, Kennedy and Associates. And 40 years in Tinley Park, Sylvan Learning Center. Congratulations. 50 years in Tinley Park, which is no small feat. Harold Viking Lodge, number 13. Harold Viking Lodge is an established fraternal organization and banquet facility located on 171st Street since 1976. It serves as a community hub known for its social atmosphere, providing event space, gaming, and various activities. So again, congratulations to Harold Viking Lodge. "60 years, Wyman and Company. Wyman and Company is a long-standing family-owned custom picture framing shop and art gallery located at 17324 Oak Park Avenue. Established in 1966, they offer a wide selection of frame styles, including Italian inlays, fabric, and paper mats. They are known for providing personalized, high-quality custom framing services. So congratulations again for Wyman and Company. And last and not least, I didn't realize Mike was this old, but 70 years in Tinley Park, Bettenhausen Auto. So since 1956, Bettenhausen Auto has been a family-owned dealership group in Tinley Park renowned for their one-price, non-commissioned sales approach. They prefer a hassle-free, customer-focused experience featuring a large inventory of new and pre-owned vehicles alongside extensive state-of-the-art service department. Again, thank you to Bettenhausen Auto, 70 years. So next, it's my pleasure to yield the stage to Mayor Michael Glotz, who will present a State of the Village report. Mayor Glotz was elected in April 2021 and re-elected in 2025, previously serving as a trustee and chairing the Public Works and Community Development Committees. He and his wife Christy have lived in Tinley Park since 1994 and have two children, Katie and Kyle. He and his family attend Parkview Christian Church. Mayor Glotz is a member of Local 150 Operating Engineers and was a union steward for Local 150. Through many years in the field, his experience has been utilized by his company to manage many large projects and assist in sales to the positive relationships he has developed by clients. Mayor Glotz has volunteered as a girls softball and boys baseball coach for the Tinley Park Bulldogs organization and the Southwest Raiders travel baseball team in Orland Hills. In 2021, he was appointed to Together We Cope Board of Directors and is recognized for volunteering throughout the community. Mayor Glotz has been voted Best Mayor several times in the Southland Best Readers Poll. He's also won the Southland Black Chamber of Commerce and Industry Mayor of the Year Award in 2022. Under Mayor Glotz's leadership, the Construction Industry Service Corporation recognizes the Village of Tinley Park in 2023 as a Public Body of the Year for protecting taxpayers through supporting workers and investing in the future. Tinley Park was the only municipality in Illinois to receive this prestigious honor. The same year, Tinley Park achieved the prestigious Platinum Level Raising Infrastructure Standards of Excellence. That just rolls off the tongue right there. So Platinum Level Raising Infrastructure Standards Excellence, the RISE certificate, which is the highest level of commitment and advancing infrastructure awards. So please help me welcome Mayor Michael Glotz.
Thank you, Jay. They made the font smaller. Good morning, everyone. I want to thank everyone for coming to our annual business breakfast here at the beautiful Tinley Park Convention Center. I'm especially excited to bring you up to speed on the state of our village, especially as it relates to our continued economic growth and opportunities for all of our valued businesses. Before I begin, I want to thank our MC, Mr. Walsh. Thank you, Jay. Our famous guest presenter, Terry Savage, and all this morning award winners for making this day one for us to remember. I hope everyone walks away with some very valuable information that will help you make this year one of your most successful yet. I want to thank the Marketing and Economic Development Specialist, Carolyn Materia, and the entire marketing department. Community Development Director, Mr. Michael Coleman, Assistant Village Manager, Donna Framke, and all of our hardworking staff across multiple departments for all that they do to make Tinley Park a place where businesses continually want to call home. We're very proud of our local businesses, which are our lifeblood of our community. Your success is also our success, and we're here to help you achieve all of your dreams. I'd be remiss if I didn't also thank the Tinley Park Convention Center and its excellent staff for helping us put this business breakfast again each year. A big part of the reason that this event is so successful is because of their hard work, and we couldn't do it without any of them. Big special thanks to Daniel Fitzgerald, if you know Daniel. Lastly, my sincere thanks to all of today's sponsors for making this breakfast possible for us. We appreciate your partnership with the Village of Tinley Park. Please give a round of applause for Wintrust Bank, Panduit, and Republic Bank of Chicago. I hope everyone's enjoying their breakfast as I tell you a little more about the village and where we're headed. I'm sure you'll like the destination. Well, we hope so. Before I continue, I want to go a little off script on a couple things. Deputy Chief Keith Sullivan, could you please stand for a second? So Deputy Chief Sullivan has been with the village roughly 24 years. As sad as it is for us, We want to wish him the best of luck. He is taking a position to eventually become a police chief in another village. As much as we will miss him, we are so grateful for everything that you've done for the village of Tinley Park, Deputy Chief Sullivan, and we wish you all the best of luck, so thank you, and please give him a round of applause. My last off script, sorry, Donna. As Dr. King once said, he had a dream. I had a dream in 2019 with the, God, every time I talk about her, I get upset. Paula Walrick, who was our community development director, and Donna Framke back in 2019 when we took control of the Village of Tinley Park Board. North Street, which we call today, which is Harmony Square, was supposed to be a 5-story apartment building from Oak Park Avenue all the way down to the end, which now it's called Harmony Square. If Donna, if you could please stand, Pat Carr, Mike Coleman, John Urbanski. I want to thank all of you guys from the bottom of our heart, because these are, John, can you please stand? Mr. Coleman. These are the 4 main people that helped us get this dream forward and moved it forward from us. And without the 4 of you, none of us could have seen what we see today. So John, Donna, Mike, and Pat, as a resident of Tinley Park, I want to thank you guys for all your hard work to make this dream come true. So thank you guys very much. These are the 4 individuals that help us bring this dream forward. And if you haven't been to Harmony Square yet, you should go, because it's absolutely beautiful. So thank you. Tinley Park's median household income grew from $103,819 to $105,189, a 1.3% increase last year. And our median home values rose from $307,750. The home ownership rate in Tinley Park is up to 86.9%, which is a higher home ownership rate than the state of Illinois at 67.6%. And the national average is 65.2%. Even more impressive is the fact that 4.5 million visitors came to Tinley Park in 2025. That's a 7% increase from 2024. 250,000 of these visitors were at Harmony Square, our brand new plaza in downtown Tinley Park. Here in Tinley Park, we have more than 1,100 active businesses, and our top industry sectors are healthcare, followed by retail trade, educational services, and manufacturing. The continued success of these businesses is due in no small part to our excellent Tinley Park Chamber of Commerce. And I want to thank all of our chamber members in attendance and from watching from home this morning. This is why you have notes to speak. I also want to thank, as I'm looking back there, one of my mentors since I became on this board is Russ Prequest from Robinson Engineering, who also helped me with all the designing, working with Paula for the Harmony Square. So thank you, Russ and Robinson Engineering. Sorry, Russ. Russ is the go-to guy when he needs something done. It's a great sign that we issued nearly 60 new businesses licenses in 2025, because it means that the businesses recognize the value that Tinley Park brings to them. We're on track for similar numbers this year, and it's exciting to see our business community continue to grow and prosper. Notable recent additions to town include Pete's Fresh Market, Chick-fil-A at 159th roughly in Harlem, Walk Your Plans on 185th Street, and Still Ride Bike Shop in downtown Tinley, just to name a few of them. We're very lucky in Tinley to have a dedicated marketing and economic development specialist on staff who does a great job with our business retention and recruitment. Carolyn is your point of contact and is always looking for ways to help businesses succeed in the village of Tinley Park. She and the marketing department also issued this monthly noteworthy electronic newsletter that's made just for our businesses. and I encourage you to sign up to start receiving it at tinleypark.org/stay informed if you haven't already. On the tourism front, we continue to expand our Life Amplified brand. We do this through efforts that highlight the vibrant atmosphere of Tinley Park, including events at this beautiful municipally owned Tinley Park Convention Center. It seems to be working too, because over the past year, as I previously mentioned, Tinley Park welcomed a record number of visitors. The word is definitely spreading about our fabulous community. Some of our upcoming tourism initiatives, which are a reinvestment of our hotel-motel tax, include a leisure traveler campaign starting in May that will consist of a variety of specifically tailored media tactics utilizing premium sites such as TripAdvisor, Netflix, and Hulu with enhanced audience targeting. Messaging will continue to reflect the fun, lively Life Amplified brand and drive viewers to our visittinleypark.com website, where they will find more information on all things Tinley Park. The Village will also be featured on WGN's radio's Best of the Midwest program, including on-air promotion and live segments, reaching their loyalty and trusted Chicagoland audiences. To increase the visibility to even more potential visitors, the Village will also use digital billboard advertising along I-55 and I-294 in directions heading towards Tinley Park for eye-catching, high-traffic brand exposure. We also have some expanded programming this year to complement our already stellar lineup at Harmony Square. In addition to the block party, music in the plaza, the benches on the avenue, cruise nights, the farmers market, make music night, games in the square, and movies in the square, we'll be adding live band karaoke and make music nights sponsored by the Aileen S. Andrew Foundation. And it's programs like this that our marketing department puts together that is the Why the Southland's Best always rates Tinley Park as the best downtown. We list all of our great entertainment, dining, and lodging options at visittinleypark.com. It's a one-stop shop for anyone looking to have a great time in Tinley Park. We also send out the Life Amplified electronic newsletter every month. A companion piece to the visitor website, it features fun things to do in our downtown Tinley Park. We saw a substantial increase in Life Amplified subscribers last year, and we're focusing on increasing those numbers this year to help spread the word about all the great things that are going on in the Village of Tinley Park. Harmony Square opened last July with a spectacular concert by the Bodines that attracted quite a crowd. I hope you were all there. I see Dr. Nolan smiling. I assume you were there. She's always smiling, though. More than 12,000 people came to that event. Since then, it's become a staple of downtown Tinley Park and a very popular attraction for both residents and our visitors. Harmony Square has been the game changer for our town that we'd hoped that it would be. It was a big jump of faith on that one. People come to enjoy the plaza, then they stick around to shop in our stores. They eat, drink in our restaurants and our bars. They stay in our hotels, and they even consider living here. The new plaza has given people something fun to do all year long and has bolstered our local economy at the same time. It's a win all around, and I couldn't be happier at all the great things Harmony Square has brought to our community. The plaza has even received recognition outside of our community. The American Public Works Association Southwest branch named Harmony Square the 2025 Project of the Year winner in its category in this past February. We were very pleased to receive this prestigious honor. Harmony Square is also being considered for an Illinois Real Estate Journal Award in the Community Facility of the Year category. Winners will be announced in June, and I can't wait to see if we're one of those winners. We do not know yet. Studio 67 at Harmony Square has also been successful. It's the perfect place for gatherings, meetings, parties, and much more, especially when you consider all the catering and party packages that we offer thanks to our partnership with some of our best local restaurants. Add in our summer splash pad, the winter ice rink experience, the rebuilt tea hands, and a rooftop bar at Durbin's. The rooftop, side note, is also something after the original plans were built that Paula Walrick and myself started working on. We figured, why not put a rooftop? And luckily it worked. The rooftop that we have at Durbin's, and all of our awesome concerts and special events. And Harmony Square is the whole package. Many thanks to all of our staff, our downtown Tinley Park businesses, and our residents for helping bring this dream to reality. We have more fun planned for this year, which you can check out at online harmonysquare.org. While it may be a very big part of the long-term plan, Harmony Square isn't the only development in our downtown Tinley Park. West Point at Harmony Square is scheduled to break ground this May and will feature 60 townhome units at the former Central Middle School site at 173rd Street and 67th Court. There will also be a 5-story mixed-use building on North Street with 63 residential units and commercial space facing Harmony Square. Planned amenities include a rooftop terrace, a fitness center, covered parking, and an on-site office. A bit east of there is D.R. Horton. They're developing the Oak Ridge subdivision on the southeast corner of Ridgeland and Oak Forest Avenue. When it's complete, the new subdivision will consist of 81 new detached single-unit homes, 162 townhome units, and a public park. So far, 46 of the 81 homes have been constructed, and 93 of the 192 townhomes are already completed. Just as exciting as Oak Park Towns along Oak Park Avenue near downtown, it includes a 3-story building with 6 units facing Oak Park Avenue. Behind it, to the west, there are 5-story buildings, or there are 5 2-story buildings, and each containing 5 units. This project will complement the nearby townhomes and support the Legacies plan, the goal of adding more homes near the downtown Tinley Park. We have several other great developments in the 191st Street area along by Harlem Avenue. Perhaps the most exciting is the Interstate Sports Dome, which is being built on a 42-acre site at 7600 West 191st Street. That was formerly the Greystone Golf Links. GK Development Properties is transforming it into a multi-phase commercial development with phase 1 including a 142,000 square foot sports dome. And just for a reference, the Bow Dome in Lockport is 80,000 square feet. This one will be 142,000. A second 35,000 square foot dome and an 18,600 square foot single-story support building connected to the dome that will include a 5,100 square foot restaurant, an 8,400 square foot support services, and a 5,100 square foot sports medicine facility. Future plans will bring additional retail lots. They should probably connect with Silver Cross Hospital. Brookside Creek Retail Center, right across the street to the south from the massively successful Brookside Marketplace Shopping Center, is coming to the southwest corner of 191st in Harlem. It's a 72-acre retail development that will include Pete's, a McDonald's, and a gas and wash, and bringing jobs and new revenue streams to that area. After many years of planning that particular corner, it's very satisfying to see a quality development in the works. The entire area at the center is at the center of our whole entertainment destination. Brookside Glenville is at the southwest corner of 191st and 80th Avenue, will be a 49-building, 98-unit residential duplex development that will complete the Brookside Glen planned unit development, which is referred to as a PUD. Along with all the aforementioned projects in the area, Brookside Glen Villas will be a great addition to that corridor and help us ensure that the area remains vibrant for decades to come. Two exciting infill projects are at 159th and Harlem, are a 7 Brew and a new Fifth Third Bank. 7 Brew is a new freestanding drive-through coffee brew house located directly in front of the Hobby Lobby. The building will be a prefabricated structure with a dual drive-through lane. It's slated to open later this month, and we didn't put it on there, but 7 Brew is also going to be open in 191st and Harlem. A new Fifth Third Bank is coming to Tinley Park Plaza in the outlot in front of Ross Dress for Less. It's going to be a single-story freestanding bank with a drive-through. I'm pleased to report that construction is underway. We're also seeing a lot of development along LaGrange Road. We'll have 3 new hotels, the Residence Inn by Marriott, which will be completed first, followed by the Courtyard by Marriott and a Hilton True hotels. That will bring our total number of hotels to 14 overall, giving people who come to visit Tinley Park to enjoy Harmony Square, attend a convention here, and see a live concert at Credit Union. 1 amphitheater, with plenty of stay options. This is pretty good for the banks. There's a lot of development going on in Tinley Park. You should coordinate with Donna and Carolyn, and they could set you up with all these developers. They got to pay for it somehow. At Village Hall, our finance and IT departments successfully implemented a new enterprise resource planning system offered by BS&A Software. The ERP improves our operational efficiencies and allows us to better serve our residents and our businesses. The business community in particular benefits from our change thanks to our new public-facing portals that allows our businesses, contractors, and developers to submit all their license requests, their license renewals, their permits, and their plans all online now. It's helped streamline the entire process and make everything easier for both the businesses and Village. The Village is also in the early stages of drafting new comprehensive plan, a collective community blueprint that will guide the next decade of development and decision-making in the Village. It's slated to be completed by late summer. The Village recently launched our new Everbridge community notification system, which will deliver vital information to our residents and the businesses, such as severe weather warnings, road closures, routine utility maintenance. We also use it to send our Tinley Park Messenger, a phone-based news delivery service that goes out to the subscribers twice a month. Anyone who had an account with code RED, our previous community notification service, will have to sign up for a new account at the tinleypark.org/Everbridge. I encourage everyone to start using the new system so you'll be informed. We're also in the final stages of a redesign of our municipal website at tinleypark.org. Although the basic structure of the site will remain intact, we're modernizing our interface and utilizing new technologies to bring us into the future. You'll be able to start interacting with it soon at tinleypark.org. You may have seen our brand new Tinley Times publication in the mail recently, and we're very proud of it. It replaces the old annual report and has a fun new feel to it. We'll be publishing it twice a year, once in the spring and summer, and again in the fall and the winter. If you didn't get one, you could come to Village Hall and we'll make sure to give you one. Staff did a really great job on that. Thank you, marketing. Finally, I'm excited to announce that the Village and the Tinley Park Park District will be hosting 2 fantastic fireworks shows this July to celebrate our 250th birthday. Come out for the first show on July 3rd, just south of I-80 Avenue train station, and the second one on July 4th to end the annual McCarthy Park 4th of July celebration. We'll also have American-themed movies in the square, patriotic streetscapes, flower displays, decor, and the commemorative flags throughout our town down Oak Park Avenue. It's my wife's giggling. It's sure to be the 250th birthday to remember, and I invite you all to join us for all this fun. As you can see, there's a lot happening in Tinley Park right now, and much more is on the horizon. And if you want to stay current on everything, I encourage you to sign up for our monthly noteworthy news email made specifically for businesses. I see Jay to my left coming to stage, so it's getting to the end. We also have our weekly community email, our social media pages, and our YouTube channels, our municipal TV station on Comcast Channel 4 and Uverse Channel 99, and our 3 websites at tinleypark.org. Visit tinleypark.com and harmonysquare.org. Learn about these and more at tinleypark.org/stay informed. Again, I want to thank everyone for joining us this morning. I want to thank Trustees Colleen Sullivan and Ken Shaw and my wife Christy for joining us this morning. Thank you guys for coming. Our businesses are the heartbeat that keeps this village vibrant and on its feet. We've got 70 years right here in front of us. Look at that. Who's going to be the next 70? We couldn't do this without any of you, and I wish you nothing but success in the months and the years to come. Thank you very much, and God bless America.
How about one more round of applause for Mayor Glatz and everything that's going on in Tinley Park? So at this time, I'd like to invite Terry Savage to the podium to provide us with an economic outlook. Terry Savage is a nationally recognized money expert and speaker on the economy, the markets, and personal finance. She writes a weekly newspaper column syndicated by the Tribune Content Agency. Terry also appears regularly on radio and television, commenting on the financial news and markets. Terry co-hosts a weekly podcast, Friends Talk Money, and has more than 25,000 subscribers to her free newsletter. At her website, terrysavage.com, she answers personal financial questions ranging from retirement planning to investing to understanding the latest money headlines. In 2023, Terry made national headlines, appearing on 60 Minutes with her co-author of Social Security Horror Stories, revealing the bullying tactics of Social Security as they attempt to claw back more than $21 billion in overpayments because of mistakes the agency made. Terry is the author of 4 best-selling books on personal finance. The 3rd edition of her best-selling book, The Savage Truth on Money, is currently available on Amazon.com. She is a registered investment advisor. Although she has no clients, nor does she represent any financial products or services, she is truly independent voice for the financial consumer. So please help me welcome Terry Savage and The Savage Truth on Money.
Okay. Oh, wait, first I want to move this. Okay, let's see if I can not mess that up. I am so delighted to be here in person today. It's been a long time. I used to be out in the suburbs a lot talking about money and the markets and so forth. And thank you, Tinley Park, for inviting me out here. A special thank you to the mayor, who is obviously doing an incredible job, the village manager and trustees, who I've just met. Carolyn Matera is a resource you should treasure. Also, is there someone here from Wintrust? Because I know they're sponsoring. Hey, Wintrust, thank you for the Wintrust Business Lunch, which I appear on Wednesdays regularly with John Williams. And so many people came up to me and said, oh yeah, we listened to you on the Wintrust Business Lunch. So it's particularly nice to be coming out to Tinley Park because you are known throughout the Chicago community. I come from the central, I live downtown, as a place that is very vibrant, growing. I mean, I think it started with the music because nobody knew who Tinley Park was, but big name acts came out here. And I have heard so much more. In particular, even before I heard the mayor's presentation, I set it up for afterwards. I've heard so much about Harmony Square that I've arranged for a tour before I get back downtown, because who knows when I'll get out here again. So, I acknowledge that we live in some unusual times these days, and you've asked me to come out here for your business breakfast to give an economic outlook, to talk about personal finances a little bit, because that's what I'm going to do, but business and the economy in general. I've been doing that for a long, long time. I really like the mayor's PowerPoint. 15, 20 years ago, I learned PowerPoint. I can create a fabulous PowerPoint. But I didn't want to bore you with charts of GDP and interest rates and whatever. So I went back. I was thinking about what I wanted to say today, kind of a short presentation, and give you time for Q&A. I think we have microphones set up in the audience so that we can do Q&A, because I always think that's the most fun. So I wanted to boil it down, the whole savage truth on money. What could I talk about at this business breakfast that was really appropriate and not bore you with a bunch of slides? So I went back to the old-time ways, and I made one picture. Hopefully, this one picture is going to be worth 1,000 words. My columns are roughly 750 words, so you get a couple columns worth. Here's the one picture. This is your Special K breakfast. I don't know if any of you have kids at home. Special K, I'm told, is still a very popular breakfast. I want to talk about K in dollars and cents terms, and also in historical perspective terms. Now, most of you, I'm sure you're all going to nod when I say this, have heard about the K-shaped economy, right? Yes? Okay. And you know that in general, what we refer to when they talk about the K-shaped economy is that the rich people are up here and the poor people are down here. And how many times have you heard someone talk about the K-shaped economy and say, well, the people that are up here, they may be a little annoyed that they have to pay more to fuel up their jets or their yachts. But they've got the stock market. They're the big investors. They're feeling wealthy. Their homes continue to remain high in value. We aren't having a housing collapse like in 2008, 2010. So this is the top part of the K-shaped economy. And down here are the people who are being hit with what we now know as of this week is a serious return of inflation. And right here in the middle are all the people that are just hanging on desperately, the middle class, trying not to slide down this slide that economic forces are driving them into. Now, this bottom part, this morning we had retail spending numbers came out, about what was expected, maybe a little weaker. Everybody is saying, hey, wait a minute, people are not in trouble. We are sitting here with the stock market at all-time highs, our national debt soaring, and in the middle of a war, and the consumer, this part of the K, and particularly all of this, is still doing well. Retail sales this morning were strong, or about what was expected. But this is a consumer that is carrying a record $1.3 trillion in credit card debt at average annual interest rates of 21%. If you had told someone that 25, 30 years ago, they would have said, we got to pass a law that's usurious. This is a consumer that is now paying 29% more for gasoline, okay? Gasoline up $1.40 a gallon. The latest figure is $4.55 for regular. So consumers who are starting to have to make choices, whether they drive to work or go on vacation. It's not your imagination. Beef is up 14.5% year over year. Coffee, 18.5%. Here's my favorite. This is astounding. Tomatoes, they're imported. 46% increase. I am now planting my tomatoes. I plant tomatoes every summer but I'm going to plant more this year. And then comes August or September, really, and I've got all these tomatoes, and I don't know what to do with them. I don't can tomatoes. Okay. You're seeing electric bills up 6% so far, but that's just the beginning. Natural gas, we have an abundance of energy in America, but electric bills are driven by natural gas, and electricity is increasingly being used in industrial uses like data centers. So consumers, which are 2/3 of the economy, are living under some incredible pressures. Medical expenses rising, insurance rising. I don't know about property taxes out here. I don't know how you're all doing this. The answer is economic growth. You know that. You've obviously figured that out. Instead of raising taxes on the last 12 people, you just grow the shape of the pie. But why, with all this news, and yesterday's, this week so far, where are we? Only Thursday. It was Tuesday, consumer prices showed up at 3.8% increase in consumer prices. And the producer price index yesterday, a 6% annual increase. And we are just beginning to see the impact of energy, which, you know, goes into everything. I don't have to give you Econ 101. Goes into everything that gets delivered. So if the consumer is already so burdened, mortgage rates remain relatively high. By the way, because of these numbers, interest rates, the 10-year Treasury is now definitely trading at 4.44%. So that's a new high for this move. Why is the stock market at all-time highs? We just had a report that we had the weakest consumer confidence in 20 years. The University of Michigan survey of consumer sentiment, weaker even. That's the one chart I wish I could have brought you, and I just found it. It's lower than it was during the pandemic, and you know how we all felt during the pandemic. Obviously, Tinley Park is a very special place. I did not come to spread doom and gloom. There are always bright spots in every economy, and clearly this is one of them. But how is it, people ask me all the time, that the stock market, and this morning, by the way, the Dow, which we mostly remember, is poised to open up well over 50,000. And the S&P 500 and NASDAQ indexes have been making new all-time highs practically daily for the last few weeks. Why is that happening in the midst of consumers' concerns, rising inflation, news about a war or whatever it is, job concerns about artificial intelligence, and the concerns about political extremisms on both sides, keeping out of politics here? This is something that I think, I'm delighted that you don't spend a lot of time worrying about it, but from judging from my time sitting on radio and TV and getting blog posts and so forth, a lot of people are really worried about what's going on that doesn't seem like anything that's happened before. And I will tell you it's because we haven't looked at that third part of the K. This part. This is the highway of capital investment in a new era of artificial intelligence and technology. And while everybody's focused on the consumers, the ones that are successful and happily enjoying all-time highs in stocks, the ones that are worried about filling up the car to go to work or canceling a vacation, this is trillions of dollars, literally trillions of dollars of investment going into data centers. And data centers is not just some concept like AI is a concept. Data centers are buildings, and it's fiber optics, and Corning, which we thought was a dead company for a long time, is now one of the top performers. Copper is at all-time high prices. I looked up and I saw that Microsoft, Amazon, Google Alphabet, and Meta are spending in the realm of $650 to $700 billion a year of capital expenditures into developing this new economy of the future, which you probably don't feel or notice, but the financial markets feel and notice it. And that is why you have stocks, particularly the tech heavy indexes, at all-time highs. Now, I watched you 5 years ago. If you'd put up a code and said to people, take a picture of that on your screen, everybody would have gone, what, what? I'm supposed to take a camera and take a picture of that? We are already living there. You probably have ChatGPT or Perplexity on your phone. If you don't, download ChatGPT or Perplexity. There's this whole giant discussion about, is AI going to drive our kids to commit violent crimes? Those are genuine worries. But the fact of the matter is, we are living in a new era. It's going to be tech-dominated. Our tax policy is driving toward that, and that is what's driving the growth of the economy. And that was going to be where I was aiming in my speech, when all of a sudden it hit me that there is another meaning to this K that I posted on this board. And I would like to introduce you to a concept, if you didn't already study it way back in college. So I will ask, and I don't expect to get a big response, does the name Kondratiev mean anything to anyone? Not if you know. Okay. Kondratiev was a famed Russian economist in the early era of the 1930s, when communism was poised to take over the world and thought it would rule the world. But Kondratiev postulated that the world moved in cycles. Google it, Kondratieff. And I was fortunate to study economics from a man named Donald Hoppe, who lived in northern Illinois, and he wrote the Kondratiev wave theory, the definitive Bible. I went to a lot of dinners. I hosted a bunch of dinners where he would expound on the Kondratiev wave. It's a capital goods cycle. I'm not going to bore you with Econ 101. It's not accurately measured or defined, but presumed to last about 54 years, anyway, between 40 and 60 years on average. You can look it up. And what this is, now you can intuit this. Okay, I gave you the intellectual. Oh, by the way, the Soviets killed Kondratiev because he postulated that economies moved in cycles, and they just wanted to believe that communism would, go straight to the moon. So I think what we are in now is not in an ordinary business cycle that you remember of recessions and booms, of stock market, bull markets, and bear markets. But I would like to bring your attention to the possibility that we are in a major transition here that changes the way you need to think, and it should make you actually very optimistic if you're willing to understand the cycle. Let me give you a little history, because I realize I'm delving into territory that nobody expected. The first Kondratiev wave period, this 54-year cycle, try 1780 to 1830. Think back to your history, American History 101. Steam power, mechanization, the Erie Canal, the cotton gin. It transformed America. 1830 to 1880, that was the era where we built the railroads across the country. It was a 50-year period. There were huge dislocations. But you have to understand the long swing of history. 1880 to 1930, another 50-ish year cycle of electrification, of cheap steel, of the telephone, global communications through the telegraph. I mean, that's 1930, that's only 100 years ago, and your grandparents were alive then. And then 1930 to 1970, which was the era of intercontinental roads. I mean, our road system, autos, oils, transportation, petroleum, universal electricity only came in that period. I mean, the rural electrification programs really only finished up in the 1970s. Since then, we've had 50 years, roughly, of the information era, where the internet and digital communications transformed our lives. And you and I, because you're here and because you could take that QR code, we get that. we've managed. Now, my father could never manage more than a flip phone. I mean, I thought he was pretty cool to have a cell phone. I mean, he died at 96 a few years back. But the point is, we in this room understand and live in the era of digital communications. And what I'm saying to you is, and you know how that transformed our lives. I'm old enough to remember when color TV came in, because I was on Channel 26. And that's when they went color, was when I started on Channel 26. That's a long time ago. You can't find my gray hairs, but I've been around for a long time. You know that. So we are all living proof that you can change and your life can be transformed and can be better. I mean, when's the last time I went to a mall? There's Amazon. Everything's there. I'm sorry about that, Harmony Square. I'm going to Harmony Square. But your shopping malls, I mean, think of the Cranes just did an article on shopping malls around Chicago. They were the highlight of the 70s and 80s. And now they're closing down or being used as walking places for seniors or medical centers or whatever. Our lives have been transformed in this information era. And now, like it or not, and I still know some people who won't use a smartphone, but they're older, we are moving into the era of artificial intelligence. That's what the stock market is telling you. This is a huge swing of history. And in this era, it will transform your business if you harness it. Now, I wrote a column in a newsletter. My newsletter's free. You could sign up at terrysavage.com, and I called it Something's Gotta Give. How could the stock market be at all-time highs and consumers be buried in debt and in so much trouble and dealing with higher gas prices and so forth? The fact is that it's like asking a fish, how's the water? When you're in it, the fish goes, the water? If you're over at the pool next weekend, it's a little early and you're wondering if it's too cold, but it's going to open Memorial Day, someone's going to say, how's the water? Because you can make a comparison. You have to step back and figure out how the water is for your business and your personal finances as we enter into this new pool, this new generation. Baby boomers, I remember doing columns when baby boomers turned 65. There were 10,000 baby boomers turning 65 every day. Now I just wrote something, baby boomers are turning 80. That's astounding. And Gen X is, most of you, many of you are in this room, Gen X. You grew up in the information age. It wasn't as shocking for you. You don't remember when there were no smartphones and there was no color TV. It was like my grandparents, I guess, were shocked by jet planes. But you, because you're in it and you don't recognize the water, need to think about what the next pool is going to feel like. Again, I know many of you have reservations about AI and what it can do, but it will inevitably transform the way we transact, the way we communicate. Now, I was thinking about what I heard this morning when the mayor was talking about Tinley Park and how you've developed this touch point of communication in Harmony Square. Just because the AI era is here, you may have either advertently or inadvertently stumbled upon the secret of success in that era, which is that when everything is in the ether, humanity demands touch points. And that is the secret of a band shell or of not a big shopping mall that's impersonal, but a community square with local stores and restaurants where people actually, at a rooftop, whatever it is that you're so proud of, that where people get together. Because there is a way for your business to acknowledge both the era of artificial intelligence, of demand information, of huge change, and yet to profit by it. Now, I just want to touch for a minute on personal finances. The baby boom generation, I mean, the lesson of the last 50 years in the stock market was don't sell, keep investing. And I was really fortunate to get there at the beginning. The beginning 401k accounts started in the early 1980s, and you had to make a choice whether to contribute. I would give speeches, oh, you've got to contribute. Then employers made matches. Then there was, what'll I put it in? Hey, you don't have to beat the market, just buy the whole market. Every 401k had a Standard & Poor 500 stock index fund. Just make it automatic. Savage truth, if you don't see it, you won't spend it. Then contribute up to getting the employer match. And I've lived through 3 bear markets that took the Dow Jones Industrials down 48 to 50%. The first one was in 73, 74, when I was the first woman trader on the floor of the Chicago Board Options Exchange, the first woman member. I remember looking up at this guy, Paul was his name. And in those days, we had the Fabulous 50. They were called the Vestal Virgins. There were stocks like McDonald's and Digital Equipment, and I just remember the names. And they were buy them and hold them forever. And when the market went down 50%, those stocks weren't supposed to go down. I was shocked. McDonald's went from a high of 87 to a low of 16 and something. I remember that then, and I remember it because I served 15 years on the board of directors of McDonald's, and I used that story. And I remember looking at Paul. He was very tall, and he was old. I knew he was old because he had gray hair and he was balding. And I said to him, Paul, they all went down. All those stocks went down. Where did all the money go? I'll never forget. He looked out at me and he said, well, my dear, it went to money heaven. Now, here's a caveat. I'm extraordinarily optimistic about the future of America. We have the lead in AI. If you want 48 things to worry about, including the meeting in China today, I can give those to you. I'm not forecasting stocks or the stock market. America has come through all those eras of change, all those Kondratiev waves on top. And in the one in which I have lived and you and I have participated, we've had a bull market that's gone from in the early 1980s, the Dow was 1,000. It's gone up to where we are this morning at 50,000. Through 3 bear markets that I know of, 73, 74, 87 was a scary bear market, 99 was a scary market, 2008 the Dow was down 48%. But now, if you're a baby boomer or a leading edge Gen Xer, you're looking toward your own retirement. So let me wave this flag of caution. Waves take a long time. We've had an incredible bull market. You weren't a genius. All you had to do was participate, and everybody did eventually in 401ks and IRAs. You might consider your own risk tolerance as you're approaching retirement or in retirement, and your exposure to the stock market, whether it's in your IRA and a target date fund that's still at age 65, 70, 80% invested in stocks. A word of caution. While I believe America will go on and rise to new highs, every bull market, and we've had this long one, has been interrupted by serious declines. And if that decline comes at the moment when you are planning to withdraw money to live on, it will send you into a panic. So while I'm optimistic about the opportunities for your businesses, especially here, especially because you're all local and you all understand the importance that community will have in an era that's increasingly in the ether. So there are fortunes to be made, businesses to be built, customers to serve. You are ahead of that curve. On your own personal finances, if you're younger, yes, keep investing. You don't have to be brilliant. You don't have to follow Kramer when he says buy this or sell that. You don't have to care what the chip stocks are doing. Just buy the S&P 500. Over the long run, you've always come out ahead. But if you are at that stage where you're going, wow, Mildred, I never dreamed we'd have $1.1 million in our 401k. Well, I leave you with 2 words of someone who I think you'll respect, even though you think I'm just guessing at it. Number 1, Warren Buffett, at this moment, is sitting on $350 billion worth of cash. He owns more Treasury bills than the Treasury. He hasn't given up on the American dream. but he is hoarding cash at this moment. He, of course, is in the category of Avant baby boomer. And then I leave you, though, with his words, which he has reiterated most recently again, as he just went into his first year without being chairman of Berkshire Hathaway. And which he said to me on a tape that's on my website today when I interviewed him back in 2008, 2009 at the depths of the market. Nobody ever got rich betting against America. America will survive and prosper, and so will you if you plan, save, and invest. You are in a unique position to do just that. But if you're at a stage where you're concerned about leaving all your chips on the table, this might be a time to evaluate your personal risk. And that is the savage truth on money as I see it. You can hear me at noon on Wednesdays with John Williams, thank you, Wintrust, and on Tuesday afternoons with Lisa Dent, WGN-TV. But I hope I've stirred up some questions. And do we have the microphones out there, Carolyn? Okay, they're right in the aisles? Okay, there's one. There's a microphone there. Have I stirred up any questions? Yes?
Can you just speak a little bit to I know it's overall with the economy, but will there be a big change with the Federal Reserve?
Will there be a big change with the new chair of the Federal Reserve? I think actually Kevin Warsh is not a newcomer. He was, of course, a member of the Federal Reserve Board. He is going to be faced with the challenge of a rising deficit, our national debt. We will add $2 trillion this year, moving our national debt up to $39 trillion. We need to finance that. We need to borrow money. We are faced with inflation numbers that are undeniable. I don't think Warsh will make the mistake of calling them transitory. I heard the Treasury Secretary early this morning in an interview saying, well, this will just be a few months. So a lot depends on the energy situation, whether Iran, whether they close down Cargill and they close down the refineries. That could take a much longer period for energy to recover, leading to higher prices for longer in energy, leading to inflation. And I believe Kevin Warsh not only is only one man on the board, but that he understands how important the value of the dollar is and the independence of the Fed is. So I'm not worried about him. I'm kind of glad he's there. Poor Jerome Powell. He's been squashed. It's enough already for him. I hope he'll leave. I think if you were being persecuted, we sat at the table talking about some members of the Illinois legislature and the pushback against them. It was someone who uses the power of government to push back against individuals at an obvious, whether it be James Comey, Seychelles, or I mean, who here has done a home remodel job that hasn't had a cost overrun? I want to meet you because you can handle my next job. Okay? So I think that there's a lot of personal animosity, and I don't blame him for wanting to be protected as long as he can. Anyone else? You can shout it out if you want, and I'll repeat it. Did I stun you into silence? Yes, in the back.
How does our national debt that's owned by some foreign countries affect our economy?
How does our national debt, about a third of our national debt is owned by foreign central banks. And foreign central banks actually have been reducing their holdings. China and Japan, I think Japan's now larger than China. But we live still in a dollar-denominated world. And I used to, in the olden days, say, what if they sold off our treasury bills? What are they going to buy? Gold? If they were going to buy gold, and central banks have been buying gold, which is why it's around $5,000 an ounce now, but there hasn't been a giant rush out of the U.S. dollar. This is going to be a very, very interesting time because we are now the world's largest debtor. We are dependent on the kindness of strangers, and that could prove to be important at some point. But I don't think it's immediately important. We'll just have to pay more, have higher interest rates, which adds to the debt. Do I think one day there'll be a day of reckoning? Yeah, I want to live long enough to see it. And then again, I don't. Someone else in the back had a question? Anyone? Okay, well, I invite you to post your question. Oh, there's another one. Go ahead. Student loan debt. Boy, this has been a political basketball. For many years, I'll tell you when this started. When my son went to UCLA and I lived in Illinois, and someone from California, because my column runs in a bunch of papers out there, said their kid wanted to go, I don't know, was Illinois or Michigan or Indiana, instead of being in-state in California. And I just went, this whole and we're talking maybe 25, 30 years ago. That's when I started to notice that the price of education subsidized by federal student loans, which are guaranteed by the taxpayer, was pushing up the cost of tuition and causing a generation to take on debt. I came from not a wealthy family, and I went to the University of Michigan. I had no student loans, and when I wanted to go to graduate school, my dad said, I can't afford that, you have 2 younger brothers. Student loan debt is just a burden that has destroyed a generation's ability to buy homes, to want to have children and get married. Now, when the Biden administration was going to just blanket forgive it, there was a moral question about that, but the social question was so urgent. And the backlash against that forgiveness has been a move to take away many of the restructuring options, which are disappearing as of next month, and to force collections now of federal student loans. I hope the pendulum swings somewhere back to the middle. And if you in your family have someone who is still burdened with student loans, there is one person in Chicago, we have her on WGN Noon Business Hour regularly. Her name is Ray Kaplan, R-A-E-K-A-P-L-A-N. She has a website, which I helped her build, because I knew there was so much demand. And she is the one, raykaplan.com, who can help you deal with student loans. Now, if you're a parent who has a PLUS loan, it occurs to me, you need to act like this week, because the rules and the opportunities for repaying Parent Plus loans are changing, and I believe it's June 30th. It's a huge burden on, and I think now what we're seeing is the pendulum is swinging, by the way, and universities are trying to get students, and many smaller schools are closing. So, but that's a long-term economic pendulum, and you have student loans, you have to deal with them right now before June 30th. Yes?
Do you feel like university is still relevant?
I love you for that question. I was going to mention this. The question was, do you think universities are still relevant? Now, back in the day, I would have answered this much differently. I believe that our students need a broad-based education in history and in our government. I mean, you can't, if those who do not learn from history are destined to repeat it. I thought that a broad-based education was essential to just living in the world. I think we are approaching a time where parents will not go into debt and students will not go into debt. I stopped contributing to the University of Michigan many years ago when the American Studies major, which I majored in, was giving courses like comic books in American history. My mother forbid comic books in our house, you know, and that's what kids read, comic books. I watched the education program change and I was appalled. So we had students paying a lot of money, going into a lot of debt for an education that didn't really lead them to jobs, but the jobs were there. And I know what I'm going to say to you is if you had I said this to a man recently whose 18-year-old son became an electrician's apprentice. Instead, he was accepted at college. And I said, good for you, because AI is not going to put in a new fuse box for me. And I need a fuse box to run my AI. So yes, I see you nodding there, and I think that we're about to reevaluate the education, but that should not stop us from holding our public schools, our high schools, and our community schools to a much better job of teaching history and our government, because the reason we stand to lose our democracy here 250 years in is because our children don't value the free enterprise system that created all this prosperity. When I see polls of college students saying, well, communism isn't so bad or socialism isn't so bad, don't get me on a soapbox opera, I'm going to leave right now. But when I see mayors Chicago and New York, saying, well, we're just going to have grocery stores in every neighborhood. I mean, grocery stores work on the thinnest of margins. That's the opposite of what you're doing here. You are creating incentives and the climate for growth, which creates a prosperous tax base, which can invest in your schools, which can invest in the community and draw additional people here. You have more people, and all those new apartments are going to pay taxes, whether they shop, whether they use utilities. You are in the cycle of growth. The only thing that will continue the cycle of growth in America, so I'll leave you with this thought, is if each one of you who clearly, because you're here, understands that, as opposed to we will raise your taxes and we'll give everybody everything and we'll teach our kids that they should have their hands out. You need to teach the next generation. Each and every one of you needs to, I don't know if Junior Achievement's active out here in the schools, but you need to get involved, and parents go to school day and teach your kids. All these businesses surviving 20, 30, 40, 60, 70 years. That's what builds community prosperity, not government handouts. I feel like I'm preaching to the choir in this regard, but the responsibility is on you and anybody else you see. This is not Democrat versus Republican. This is understanding what made America great. Opportunities are created by people who work hard and who work smart. That's you. Spread the word. That's the savage truth. Thank you very much.
So as I wrap it up, I think Mayor Glotz and Terry Savage had stole a little bit of my thunder on the close here, but there's two things that I always keep in mind. One, from my parents, which would always say, nothing's for free in life. All right, you got to work for it. And Warren Buffett I take a lot from. I think we can learn a lot from people who have been around and seen a few things. In 2020, it said, for 240 years, it's been a terrible mistake to bet against America. Oddly enough, he also said Tinley Park. And now is not the time to start. So change is inevitable. Things are going to grow and evolve. And I think a part of this room, most of this room, has done the same thing. Tinley Park is definitely doing it with the stewardship of our trustees and Mayor Glotz. So if I can get one more round of applause for our presenters today, Mayor Glotz and Terry Savage. And in closing, on behalf of the Tinley Park and the Tinley Park Economic and Commercial Commission, thank you for attending this morning. We wish you a wonderful and prosperous 2026. Be good. Take care.